Hi, this is Michael Cohen. I'm a Dallas elder law and estate planning attorney. I'm joined by my friend Don Crawford Jr., who's coming to us from his hotel room in Rochester, New York. How do you like that? He only goes to the only the nicest places in the United States.
Right.
It's obviously a vacation.
Yeah. Right. Do I look like I'm in a vacation? Does this room really look that great? It's not, it's okay. It's
Yeah, but
fine.
uh, as I said, it must be the lilac festival time of year, but
Yeah.
or it could be that you just celebrate the Apple Festival or whatever they call it.
Something's going on here.
Well, whatever it may be,
Hmm.
thanks for joining us.
Sure.
We always do these podcasts, have been doing these podcasts, going back to when we did the radio show together previously last year and the years before. So
Sure.
thank you for continuing.
My pleasure.
Today it's really not a uh, necessarily a topic about law, but it's in some respects. I guess you'd say it's law because you have to have capacity to sign legal documents. But the it's going to be on the pointer study. As you know, I've been chair of the Alzheimer's Association for the last 4 years for the Dallas in Northeast Texas region, and I they came out with a study last year on brain health. They gave the recipe how your brain can stay healthy longer, and so I think we would all like that. Are we willing to take the lifestyle interventions that show how that brain can stay healthier longer? As we age, um, the more likelihood of dementia and it's just the aging process.
Hmm.
So they did a study of people between 60 and 79 and over a couple thousand Americans to see what and those who had they watched directly and those who didn't. And anyway, so they've determined what would be most likely to reduce the risk of dementia. Well, it's lifestyle interventions. Well, the first thing that I know that Don, not maybe not myself as much as I should, we know follows, and that's nutrition. His wife is a nutritionist, I might add. And so he knows that you should limit your intake of sugar and unhealthy fats. And you have, it's the Mediterranean diet, leafy vegetable greens, berries, nuts. Those are olive oil, fish. Those are the common things of the Mediterranean diet.
Hmm.
So that is number one, not necessarily in that particular order, but nutrition is important. It's unfortunately a lot of times Americans, you can see that how many people go to some fast food hamburger or fried chicken restaurant, and it's probably not the healthiest thing for you. Okay. The next thing is you could have cognitive exercises, not just physical exercise, which we all know. Cognitive exercises is you could even have different computer programs, which makes it more difficult and you to challenge your brain. Things like learning a new musical instrument or a foreign language would
Hmm.
be an intellectual challenge, but they've actually developed computer type games where it can make it more and more difficult to make a to exercise your brain in effect.
A guy next to me on the airplane flying here to Rochester, all he did on the other side of the plane was play games the entire 3 hour flight from Dallas to Philadelphia because there's a layover. It's never a nonstop to Rochester. He just played games and he was like 50 years old. And maybe that's to keep his brain healthy.
Well, I don't know if playing games does it. I don't know if just doing a puzzle does it.
There you go.
Um, it might make you just good at doing puzzles,
Right.
but or maybe just, but there are different types of things like, and you're supposed to exercise the brain at least 3 times a week.
Mm, well.
So just it's kind of like physical exercise. but
Hmm.
you do mental exercise. Now, maybe the puzzles work, and maybe,
Maybe.
I don't know for sure, but we do know that they've even came up with games that the uh, of this pointer study that they said you could get on the computer, and it just like it might ask you these questions and think of it, and then they make them more difficult and you think of it, and it just keeps on exercising until it just like normal exercise. If you normally exercise, you're probably better health aerobically and as well as strength or flexibility,
Right.
whatever you do. If you do it repetitively and sometimes increase the levels, well, then you're going to be better. And as far as the physical exercise, you're supposed to do aerobics at least moderately 4 times a week. And on the flexibility, let's say you did yoga or Pilates or something like that, or just did flexible, do just stretching or whatever. That's supposed to be a couple times a week, as well as the strength weights or whatever. That would be a couple times a week. And the last thing that the category is just monitoring your health. Has your
Hmm.
cholesterol level, your blood pressure, are those things, have that changed in any significant way? And just have it monitored. So if you do those 4 things, now, if you're already bad enough, unfortunately, I was talking to the wife of a friend of mine who has Alzheimer's, and she was distressed. And so I was telling her because I was concerned about my friend, and she said, well, he hasn't been wanting to tell people because he's embarrassed that he has the dementia, the Alzheimer's dementia. There's many types of dementias. And this type, he had Alzheimer's and has already been taking Kisunla, had at least a dozen doses, and he just didn't want to tell anybody.
Well,
In fact, earlier today, I had a client in my office, and I could tell she had some dementia. She couldn't seem to grasp things, but she still has capacity.
mhm.
So I said, although came to talk about her dad, uh, I said, you really need to think about yourself too, because you can't sign documents when you don't know what you're signing.
Right.
So anyway, for those, and I don't think even though this study was for people between 60 and 79, I don't think that we should be limited to people 60 to 79. This is something that somebody, a 25-year-old, can learn from as well, and to develop the good habits. It's just kind of like you say on diet or something. If you had, uh, you know, a lot of different issues on, oh, I don't know, been eating bad things when you're young, it still
Mhm.
might affect you later on.
Right.
So it's probably a good idea to start at a younger age.
Great. When
I
you
know
were
you're
talking,
good
I
at
was thinking
that.
about the
Yeah.
word edge, which is the G in edge is genetic, the E is environment, the D is diet, and the other E is exercise. Those 4 things, the edge, and that's kind of the umbrella of what you're talking about. You're more specific, which is better, in my opinion. But that helps. As you were talking, I thought about the acronym EDGE or the word EDGE, and it really does help me remember that those 4 things are critical, especially, well, not all especially, they're all, I think, essential in making certain that we take care of ourselves and stay as healthy as we possibly can, even though genetic we can't affect. That's just the way it is.
Well, we certainly would prefer a quality of life. And when we're in good health, we have that.
Hmm.
And sometimes we just don't realize that life's short and we just do our own daily thing. And we really, it's kind of like you got to take care of yourself to take care of others too. So I hope that somebody out there will, uh, you know, have some more lifestyle intervention to have a healthier brain and a healthier life.
I couldn't agree more. And life is short, and it's so short you never know. I could get in the car and go to dinner this evening and get in a car wreck and die. You just never know. So attend Michael's next workshop when you hear this podcast because you don't know when your time is up, and to make sure that all of your affairs are in order. And the next workshop is this month sometime, right, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on when somebody's listening to this, but the answer is you could go to any one of our free. Nobody's asked me about how, how to be in better health. It's
Right.
mostly on estate planning, whether it be on Medicaid or it be on wills or trust. There's all sorts of different wills and trusts or different things. So it could be anything to protect your family against if you were in bad health, disability trust could, or maybe if you are become disabled, what happens, who's in control. You can do all sorts of different things. Anything it ranges quite a bit. So if you're interested in going to a free estate planning essentials workshop, or it talks about public benefits as well, generally, just call 214-720-0102. Or if you're on this YouTube, you could see, you could sign up on our website, dallaselderlawyer.com. It's a 2 hour workshop. It's free. And if you go to the workshop, and only to those people who go to the workshop, we give a 1 hour vision meeting that's free as well. I hope that some of you will check that website out at dallaselderlawyer.com and join us uh, and learn something. I thank you, Don.
Thank you, Mike.